Destiny 2 has become a microtransaction hell. How long is this? Oh, it'd make a reaction video. Everyone's been making a reaction video to this. Let's see how long it is.
October 13th, we'll see the return of Test to the Tower. Silver is a new currency
35
coming
minutes.
to Destiny that is bought with real money. This
We
is
can watch
the
it real quick.
introduction of microtransactions into Destiny, but I've never had a problem with cosmetic microtransactions. A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes.
Yep.
But who is to
This
say
is what I said at the time.
Produce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm
Yep.
gonna be mad. If
Yep,
we see
I
something
said the
like
same thing.
100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad.
Yep.
I don't want to see power sold. I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold. Nothing. I don't want to see weapon parts, ammo synths, nothing. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
That was 7 years ago he made that video. Let's fast forward to
I
today.
hate to say it, but now may be the time to start raging. Now I'm going to preface this by saying, no, this is not a joke video. When it comes to greedy corporate monetization practices, to us, this is really
Diablo
not
Immortal.
a laughing matter. Was clips from this watch, or from a 7-year-old video Dado posted in Destiny 1 about a month after the release of The Taken King, and my god, it has aged like fine wine. Today, we'll be talking about the state of microtransactions inside of Destiny 2, because over the last several years, and increasingly this past year, we've seen a dramatic increase in monetization for anything and everything Bungie could slap behind a paywall. This includes
Any and
raising
everything.
prices, creating new avenues for spending, double dipping into the existing player base, and giving players blatant pay-to-win benefits. Now here are the timestamps.
Yep, they've reached pay to win.
Each topic covered in this.
All right. Let's check out all his topics. So we can see the point where I quit. All right. So free to play. I was playing for that. Confusing pay structure. Paying for that. All right. I must have dipped out somewhere in here. So all this came after me. So I dipped out somewhere in here. I dipped out when they continued to charge for full priced expansions. We're talking $40 to $60 for expansions, sometimes upwards of $80. And then locking content inside that expansion you paid full price for behind a battle pass. So double dipping, as he mentioned, inside the existing player base. That's where I was out. That's where I swore off Destiny 2. When you charged me the same price you were charging me under Activision for those expensive expansions, and then put a battle pass on top of them. I thought they'd be replacing those paid expansions with a battle pass when they announced they were adding a battle pass after they left Activision, but no, they double dipped. So apparently after that, dungeon keys, there were things I heard about where I was like, Jesus Christ, where on top of buying the expansion, buying the battle pass, then they locked individual dungeons behind keys. You had to buy like loot box keys. So you had to buy the expansion to access the content, to access the new planet. Buy the battle pass to access all the content on that new planet, and then buy keys to enter the dungeons on the new planet that's inside of the expansion you already paid for. That was the last thing I heard about before I quit checking in on Destiny. Apparently, seasonal price increases, so apparently they've gone up in price. I wonder what he's going to talk about when he gets to events. I mean, like I said, I had heard about a lot of this stuff. Eververse must have got worse. Manipulation, which I can imagine what's going on there. Pay to win. I think I'd heard a few things about that. Like, I hadn't watched the whole video. It was kind of long, but I kind of got the gist of it from going over stuff at work. Like, I half paid attention to the parts of it I watched because I was at work at the time. So we're going to give it our full attention today. Paying for other games. I think I watched a video on that where Destiny hasn't seen a lot of updates for a long time. Like, PvP has just been straight up ignored. And their updates have been just adding monetization to the game. So everyone's wondering, where's all this money going you're making with all the new monetization? And then they announce Marathon. So everyone believes that you've been taking the money to pay for Marathon. So, okay. Let's
this
see.
is going to be a
See
long
how,
one. So
exactly
grab
how
your
bad it
popcorn.
gets.
And one thing I ask,
Got my
before you
popcorn,
leave a
babe.
comment criticizing or even defending Bungie, please watch this video. We're going to cover a lot of ground today because I want all of us here to have a full perspective on how bad microtransactions have become over the past 7 years. And maybe by the end of this video, when all Bungie schemes are on the table, you will share my concern for what this game may look like 7 years in the future.
It ain't gonna last 7 more years, man. It ain't gonna last 7 more years, man.
Now, first off, I want
It's
to
on
set
its
the record
last
straight.
leg.
Destiny
This is
2
active
is
desperations.
not a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-try game. It's very important we are
Yeah,
all
free
on the
demo.
same page here because this is the most common justification for the use of microtransactions.
Okay, I'm gonna pause to read the stuff they put on the screen instead of just the parts that how it's. Microtransactions, sometimes abbreviated as MTX, are a business model where users can purchase virtual goods for micropayments. Okay, it's an accurate description. Microtransactions are often used in free-to-play games to provide a revenue source for the developers. While microtransactions are a staple of the mobile app market, I think you mean mobile app cesspool. It's a fucking cesspool. It's not a market anymore. It is just a place to sell microtransactions. Games are your entranceway into these app markets. They're also seen on PC software such as Valve, Steam, digital distribution platform, as well as other console games. Yeah, okay, so accurate description of microtransactions
across the industry. And the biggest illusion Bungie tries to spin in their marketing. Microtransactions in real free-to-play content makes perfect sense. If you're not paying to purchase the actual software, then the developers are completely justified in generating revenue using other means.
Yep.
Usually, this is just in the form of cosmetic items that
So like
players
Fortnite.
purchase for digital fashion,
Again, the
fun,
gold
or even
standard.
clout. But developers can also use more shady techniques
Ew.
like loot boxes,
Loot
bonuses, or
boxes.
even additional content to persuade
Pay to
players to
win.
spend more money. With that being said, Destiny, even after becoming free-to-play in 2019, has never actually been free-to-play. Matter of fact, Sweatsickle even made a video a couple weeks ago documenting the experience of a free-to-play player in Destiny, which I highly recommend giving a watch.
It's a bad experience.
After completing the introduction quests and missions, free-to-play players can access Strikes, Crucible, Gambits, the Prophecy Dungeon, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, Open World, and Dares of Eternity.
Okay. So the party he just left out there is that introductory quest is not the same as the introductory quest that you got when the game was paid. So when it went free to play, it just straight up they straight up removed content from the game. Like the standard campaign got vaulted and just locked away. Like you could watch lore stuff to catch up on it, but that content was just gone. Like they just removed content and gave you like lore stuff and cutscenes you could watch to catch up on the story. But if you wanted to actually go experience the single player portion of the game, it was fucking gone.
A service that actually seems like a decent amount of free content. But is it actually? Compared to the massive amount of content in Destiny, this is just a fraction of what the majority of players have access to. You don't even get a campaign in free-to-play. You get rituals, quests, and a couple of high-end activities.
Yeah, so you mentioned the
Let's compare
campaign.
this to some other free-to-play games, shall we? Starting with arguably the most popular free-to-play game, Fortnite. There are plenty of
gold standard
microtransactions in Fortnite, but all of them are strictly for cosmetics. Even the seasonal battle pass, which you can pay for, is earnable via just playing the game. Granted, that would take a while. The free version of the battle pass gives you V-Bucks that you can save up to buy the paid version. And as long as you play enough to complete the
you can eventually get on a free loop where you can never pay for anything. A lot of people play that way.
There's even some currency
completely
left over
free.
you can choose to save or even spend in the shop if you want to buy some cosmetics.
This is why Fortnite's the gold standard.
Yes, I know comparing Destiny and Warframe is kind of a touchy subject, but Warframe is also a free-to-play game. The
I have my
battle
issues with
pass
Warframe
is
too.
completely free. The updates are free, and you can earn the paid currency in the game's player-driven market. So it too is essentially
I don't damn it, I didn't mean to. There we go. Put my DPI back. Okay. I don't count Warframe's, for the record, I have my issues with Warframe. I don't count Warframe's player market as free to play because it's manipulative. Like he covered that in his timeline. It's manipulative. I've had this argument with Ozzy a few times on stream where the currency that's in that player-based market that people are trading for, it wasn't free. Somebody paid for it. So you're basically just using your player base as free labor for you, where they're acting as salesmen, and then I mean, I'm not saying that a in-game marketplace is bad, but to act like it's completely free, like if some players, if the whales hadn't dumped money into the game to trade with the free people, then that market wouldn't exist. Like, it's not a feature of the game. It's entirely community driven. And with a good community, it can be pretty fair, but the prices and stuff on that market fluctuate wildly. It is 100% dependent on, like, the whales control that market. So it's not something you can bank on. Like, it has its good times and its bad. It depends on what you want and how rare items become, etc. So you could end up grinding forever to get something that you're trying to get off that market for free, which just manipulates players into running out of patience and just purchasing it themselves instead of trying to buy it off a whale who already purchased the coin. So, yeah. And I also have a problem with Warframe 2. I'm not trying to make this, about Warframe 2, but I have a problem with Warframe's, it's wait timers and it's mobile-esque manipulative practices to keep you logging in and to test your patience and to keep you spending money, which is something Fortnite doesn't do. This is why Fortnite's the gold standard. But anyway, continuing on.
Examples, and I could dive into more, but I think you get the point. These games grant you access to all the actual gameplay content for free. In Destiny, you get maybe 10% of the content for free, which means this is not exactly free to play.
It's a free to try.
Free trial. Destiny,
yeah, free trial.
By no means the first to do it, though. Remember the light versions of apps back in the early days of iPhone? Every major game had a free light version, essentially a demo. Angry Birds Lite, Minecraft Lite, Light Bike Lite. I don't have a problem with free trials, but free trials to play have been commingled so much that players can't differentiate between the two. Another common trait of free trials is that they're full of ads. As a new light player, the number of pop-ups you receive in game telling you to buy more content
dismiss.
is ludicrous. Don't be
MTX counter 11 pop-ups.
Destiny 2, and if you want to play the full version, you have to pay money, lots and lots of money.
Lots and lots of money. All right, so before we get to confusion, yeah, it's. That's what I'm talking about, where they ripped out content. So you get 10% of the game's content for free. It's a free trial. He's absolutely right. That's another problem I had, because I would have to spend double of everything. I couldn't be a paid player where my wife played casually and wanted to join me on occasion and not have to buy a second copy of all the content so she could play with me, because her as a free player was so restrictive that she basically couldn't do anything with me. So, like, the PvP is free. If you're a PvP player in Destiny, which is the part of the game they've abandoned now that they've been working on Marathon, which hasn't, that part of the community mad. That was the part that was free. Any other content, the PvE, the 95%, the chunk of the game everyone fucking plays the game for, locked behind just paywall after paywall after paywall after paywall. This is, woo boy. This Destiny's gotten out of hand and puts Activision to shame. I mean, it almost prompts mass collection of items ruining the market. Yeah, I remember when some primes were rare, they get unvaulted and their price just fell off. Yeah, so, yeah, like, player-based markets can be almost, if not more, manipulative. So basically you're turning the player base itself into free salesmen for you to sell those microtransactions, like free employees. So it's very manipulative. Player-based markets can be manipulated by the game, and Warframe is 100% guilty of that. Look up SQC Destiny pop up real quick. It's like 30 seconds. Okay. XQC Destiny pop up. I mean, I can imagine. I know their pop-ups got ridiculous. Okay, it's like XQC gets introduced to Destiny 2, 26 seconds. So it's all YouTube short. Okay, we'll check that one out real quick. All right, let's hit play on that. Yep. Doop, 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 doop. Pop up. Pop up.
Stop? Can you stop? Can you stop? Can I play the video game? Like, can you stop?
Jesus fuck.
Are you done? Oh my god! Fucking game, man.
I wanna actually count the number that he just went through. 1, 2. All right, so he's on the second. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Can you stop? Can you stop now?
10, 11, 12, 13,
Can I play the video
14.
game? Like, can you stop?
15,
Are you done?
16, 17,
Oh my.
17. With 17 pop-ups before you play the fucking game. Can we get a Destiny pop-up blocker? Can we get a Destiny pop-up blocker? He played 3 matches of PvP and quit. Yeah. I mean, that's the new player experience. There you go. First time logging in Destiny. And they're bombarding you with stuff that makes no sense to you because you're not familiar with the game yet. Why do you need 17 pop-ups your first time playing the game? Like, how is that your new player experience? How the actual fuck did you design this and go, yeah, they're going to know what all this is? I mean, they're going to be explaining game systems to you and selling things to you that you don't even know what they are yet because you haven't been introduced to the game. What's an exotic? I've never played that. Is that like a legendary? Is that like a unique? What is an Eververse? What is Bright Dust? What is a shader? What is this event? What is this event? What is that event? What is this thing? What's a blah 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 blah? Yeah, like you're a new player. You don't know what any of this terminology is yet. You don't just fucking know, man. Just why? Siege does something similar, but at least its pop-ups are game changes that you might need to know. I mean, update logs, sure. That's fine. I'm talking about advertising stuff like in the game that you're unfamiliar with. Like, it's like learning another language and being advertised in it your first day in class. Like, what? Like, they made it so that if you throw your drone, you're not forcing the drone pop-up. Okay. So anyway, speaking of confusion, that's part of that confusion. But let's see. Let's go on. Continue on.
Now, Destiny 2 has a lot of paid content, but quite frankly, it's confusing as hell. You got the Lightfall plus annual pass, or Lightfall by itself, the Legacy Collection, which includes Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep, the 30th Anniversary Pack, Witch Queen, Beyond Light separately, as well as Shadowkeep separately, the Forsaken Pack, and the Armory Collection, which includes both Forsaken and the 30th Anniversary Pack. There's so many different bundles for old content that, quite frankly, this is absurd. I have so many people that come in the stream that ask, which one do I buy? And quite frankly, how in the hell is someone new to the game supposed to navigate all of this? Now, here's a novel idea. Why don't Bungie just bundle everything? Literally, just the everything bundle. All content through the year of Lightfall.
No, they don't.
Or the Lightfall plus annual pass. Or the
all that
Legacy
paid DLC is
content
there.
Bundle, which includes all those old things that tends to confuse the piss out of everyone.
Yeah, there's
now,
no one pack that contains everything.
Players who want to purchase a single piece of content, that's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist?
Hold on.
Spoiler alerts.
I want to go back to that.
Now,
Where he breaks the screen so we can see it real quick.
Want to purchase a single piece of content? That's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already.
Okay, so this is like the bare minimum list they could be doing. Everything bundle would get you caught up, and then you sell the new stuff. All legacy content. Yeah, like you should have one bundle that includes everything, and then whatever the newest one is. That would be the simple list. And then a legacy content bundle if you want to catch up on that stuff. That's how they should do it. Even that's a little confusing because you could skip legacy content technically. You know, like the everything bundle should just include everything. But yeah, that's the way they should do it. The way that they do it now is there's Lightfall plus annual pass. Lightfall, which is a separate thing. Legacy collection, which is all of the legacy content. The 30th anniversary pack, that's a different thing. Witch Queen, then you have to buy all of these separately. The Forsaken pack, which is a Forsaken one. The Armory collection, which gets you access to the like legacy, which I don't know why that's not in the legacy collection, but okay, whatever. The Armory pack gets you access to old armors and old exotics and stuff that should be part of the legacy pack. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh boy, I mean, why charge for old content at all? Nobody wants to try the new game. Because some of the old content is relevant because they buff old exotics and stuff like that. So you're doing it for the gear, all right? You're buying old content. And Destiny's a looter shooter. Okay, it's Diablo with guns. So you want, like, a certain build for your class. You want some of those old exotic gears are still relevant today. Like, they buff them. They try to keep them relevant. But you got to buy all this other content to access the activities needed to get that shit to drop. So that's why you want it. But yeah, 600 DLCs get called up. Yeah, like it's confusing as all fucking hell. So
offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist already? Spoiler alerts, there's no singular bundle for all of old Destiny content because Bungie refuses to improve the new player experience for the sake of decreased revenue. If they care more about the player base than the extra cash, they would bundle all the old content under one single legacy content bundle.
Yes,
instead of
they should
nickel
just
and
bundle it
diming
all
new
together.
players. Now, why is the Forsaken Pack, a bundle containing a raid, a dungeon, and some exotic weapons and armor, still even a thing? It also used to contain 9 supers for each light subclass as well, and those were added into free-to-play because locking supers behind paywalls was stupid. And what remains
was stupid.
Still paying for. Now, why
Yep,
was
new
the
players are
30th
still paying for
anniversary
something
update
that they
even a
made free
separate
but still
paid
charge for.
add-on in the first place? Remember when Bungie updated the game with cool content for free? Some new players might not remember, but the April update in Destiny 1 was a free update to the game that increased light level, added a new story mission.
Yeah, they did
quests,
Destiny 1
revamps
right.
of old strikes, updates to the Prison of Elders, chroma gear for custom armor glows, a new taken set of armor, reprised exotics, and legendary weapons.
All of that was free
All of this
in Destiny
for
1.
free. It was like a mini expansion that we got as a gift from Bungie. Fast forward a year ago, if you didn't pre-order the deluxe edition of Witch Queen,
Not
you
that
had to
one.
dish out $25 to get access to things like the Grasp of Avarice dungeon.
They sold the
and
pre-order
Poison
stuff for
Cosmetics.
$25.
Yes, there were parts of this update that were free, like Dares of Eternity, which is a completely new activity, and I understand that a lot of developer work went into creating these, but I bring this up to draw a comparison of how things used to be 7 years ago. The reality is, if the 30th anniversary update was released in Destiny 1, we would have received it completely free.
Yep, gotta pay for that now.
Now, the 30th anniversary update was also the tipping point.
Dungeon
that
keys.
introduced Dungeon keys to Destiny 2. These have got to be one of the most divisive double-dipping additions to the game ever made.
Triple
For those
dipping
of
at
you
this
who don't
point.
know, dungeon keys were added in the Witch Queen. Bungie releases 2 dungeons each year, and if you don't buy the deluxe edition, that being the expansion plus annual pass, you also have to buy these separately. Both dungeons are sold together for 2,000 silver. This is Bungie's in-game currency.
$20.
To $20. No longer are dungeons included in seasonal content, which made a lot of us scratch our heads asking what the hell, Bungie. This
Paying
only makes
$20
paying
for a
content
dungeon.
more confusing, and we know it to be a fact from first-hand experience. One of our part-time editors bought Season of the Deep to play the dungeon.
Why can't I play the dungeon?
Ghost of the Deep
Oh, you need
was
the key,
not
bro.
included in Season of the Deep, meaning he had to go buy the dungeon key after buying the season to play what he actually wanted
Yep.
to play. If
You
one
bought
of
the
us
season
made
pass, you
that
didn't get access to the
mistake,
seasonal
how much
dungeon.
easier is it for a new player who has never played Destiny to make that mistake as well? The title for the dungeon trailer on YouTube even suggests that it's included with the Season of the Deep. You will only find out otherwise if you read through Bungie's website or visit the activity.
So to recap what that would be like for you is if you did not buy the digital deluxe edition of this expansion, you are then buying the expansion for, I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks. Then you'd have to buy the season pass for it, which should contain the dungeon, but doesn't. And then you'd have to go spend $20 to unlock the dungeon. That's not double dip, that's triple dipping. It's triple fucking dipping. So you're looking at spending more for not getting the digital deluxe edition. And it's very purposefully misworded to make you believe that it's included with this stuff. So you get access to the new planet by buying the base level expansion. You get access to all the activities, supposedly all the activities on it and all the cosmetics with the season pass that's then sold on top of the expansion. And then after buying the season pass and you go to the dungeon and you find out you can't enter it because it brings you to this, do you have a key? You go to the store to buy the key and find out it's $20. So 30 plus 10 plus 20, you do the fucking math. They have triple dipped. Wow. We're 10 minutes in and it's already this bad. Oh, it gets worse.
Directly, or visit the last page in the Eververse store, which we know a decent portion of new players will not know how to do.
Very purposefully misproduced. Okay, let's check out the season price.
Okay, so dungeons no longer ship alongside seasonal content. Surely the price of seasons deserve to be lower, right? No.
Yeah, now they don't even put it with the season.
Seasonal content. If you want to
Yep,
buy a
seasonal
season
content
by
got
itself,
more
it used
expensive.
to cost only $10. And honestly,
Not $10
for some
anymore.
story, some cool cutscenes, access to the multiplayer activities and new gear, I would have argued that it was a great deal. But then Bungie increased the price. And you know what? Fair enough. Adjust for inflation, gotta put food on the table. It makes sense. Bungie announced in a tweet they were increasing increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200
to $12,
silver, which puts us at
okay.
$10 a season to now $12 per
Okay.
season. Or does it? You see,
But there's
when
a
you buy
problem.
silver, Bungie gives you a little extra.
You can't buy
for each
$12 worth of
purchase.
it.
And the bigger the purchase, the more extra you get. So when you buy $10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's
it's
just
100
of
short.
the amount needed to buy a new expansion.
Womp
So to
womp.
buy an individual season, you
Classic
need to purchase
manipulation scam right there.
$15 worth of silver.
You got about
Not
$15,
meaning
not
Bungie
12.
actually raised the price by $5 because you can't buy seasons with real money. You have to buy them with Bungie's tokens. They're fake money. Now I'm surprised too.
Fake
considering
money.
How cluttered the Steam store is already with expansions, which by the way
Fuck.
you can buy with real money. Why not just add each season there too? Make an annual season pack. Hell, folks are already confused. You might as well add it. Something tells me we won't ever see a $12 silver purchase option
No, you won't.
anytime soon. Luckily,
No, you
Bungie
won't.
added the
It's very much
$15 option
intentional.
right before Season of the Deep, and even created a $100 silver purchase option.
Oh,
too.
there's a $100
So if you want
purchase
to
option
bankroll
now.
their pockets even more, that's a lot easier for you. And guess what? You thought a $5 increase was bad? Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20.
Oh yeah, it's not, and it's not even on all platforms. It's not even on all platforms. So if you played on Xbox, you don't have a $15 option, cause fucking reasons, I guess, and you have to spend $20 and get that 300 extra bonus that you could apply to next season to get the next season for $10. But every other season you're paying 20 instead of 10. It's just adding to the convolution. At this point, in-game currency should be illegal. They should just have to say crypto may make that possible. Because, you know, gambling in casinos are supposed to be illegal in like 90% of the country. And there's some online gambling, maybe even some real world stuff you can go to, technically labeled sweepstakes machines. But there are some gambling that uses crypto. It won't allow you to gamble with real money. So basically they're doing this in the real world, the same thing that's happening in video games, which is how you get the attention of the fucking government and make them give a shit about it. Because people now gamble with crypto instead of real money. But as we all know, you can turn crypto into real money. So you're basically still gambling with real money. It's the same thing that they're doing in video games. They just do it in real life now. So that will get old heads to eventually notice. So it's just a matter of time. And retroactively, any law that they put about currency would then theoretically apply to fake currencies, in-game currencies, your V-Bucks, your silvers, your gems, your diamonds, whatever the mobile game shits are calling it, which is a good thing. I 100% agree with you. Like that, this shit needs to be reined in. We already have money that we use to buy things. And if you're selling me things, I should be able to pay for it with U.S. money. You know, that thing that says legal tender on it, meaning it should be accepted everywhere in this country. Legally, I should be able to just buy anything in America with the American dollar. I shouldn't need any other type of currency. That seems like just a way to undermine the US dollar and create your own currency, which technically, you know, like you can't just start your own economy in the real world. So why are we doing it in video games? Like it's all borderline illegal shit in the real world. Why is it allowed in video? And crypto's kind of the real world version of that. So finally going to bring light to it. So hopefully, fingers crossed that'll rein that shit in.
The price for a new season. Guys, that's just borderline evil. Thankfully,
Yep,
any players
borderline
who
evil.
use these platforms are not completely screwed. Bungie does offer a $15 seasonal silver bundle as well, but not only is it separate from the other silver purchase options, it also doesn't advertise how much silver it gives. You actually have to click into it to see how much silver you are buying. But hey, it comes with the free emotes. Am I right? I'm not against silver existing or people buying silver. I've bought plenty of silver. I'll even meet Bungie halfway. I'm not against paying $12 for a season, but it's these shady, scummy, underhanded tactics that Bungie keeps using that pisses me off.
You said it was $12.
If you're gonna raise the price of a season to $15, at least have the balls to just tell us straight. I shouldn't need to perform mental gymnastics to decipher a change in pricing structure like it's a day one raid encounter. It's not the price increase that rubs me wrong. It's how Bungie intentionally designed it.
Yeah, so they use this to basically avoid real life laws. So in real life, you can't fucking do this with the store. Like, you can't say that something in your store cost $12. If you go into a Walmart, a Target, or whatever, you can't say it costs $12. And then go up to the register and the person at the register say, well, minimum purchase in store to get that deal is $15. Or we don't take $1 bills, so you can only pay with a 10 and a 5, and then we'll give you change back. You know, or you know, we get to keep the change. Like, you can't take the money away from people. Like, if you advertise a price, that's the fucking price. Like, you can't change it in store with your own fake currency. Like, even when you go to a store, they can't even do that. Like, if you go to a store and you want something that's buy one, get one free, legally that means half off. It's just a different way to word half off. They can't force you to buy 2 of something. So if you wanted to buy one of the thing in a store, and a lot of people don't realize this because they're stupid, if you go into a Walmart or a Target and they got something that's buy one, get one free, and you only want to buy one of them, that means that one you're going to buy is half price. You don't have to buy 2 to get the price. You see? And who keeps buying this garbage? It's just stupid people, but who don't. That's why they bury this stuff. Like, that's what he's pointing out here. That's why they bury this stuff at the bottom of the store page in item descriptions that you have to, like, read into. You have to go to their blog to see this. This isn't even in the game. You have to go to the DLC page and read the description. The actual title of the DLC that's telling you what it contains doesn't actually tell you how much silver it contains or how much things cost. You have to read in. And a lot of people read the name of the bundle, so they click on it in the store. So if you clicked on it, like on Xbox, for instance, if you clicked on this in the game and it didn't tell you this in the game, you'd have to go to the store page for the bundle to read the description to find out what was actually in the bundle. The title of the bundle is misleading. If you were on Xbox and I don't know about PlayStation, I don't have a PlayStation, but if you're on Xbox, like I'm doing the console player experience here, and you clicked on a bundle to buy it from within the game, it doesn't take you to the Microsoft Store page for the bundle. It brings up a pop-up that just immediately purchases the bundle. So that description that actually tells you what's in it, you would never fucking see. You would have to exit the game, go to the Microsoft Store, and then go into that DLC's item page to scroll down to the description and then read it. Now, that's not Microsoft's fault. Microsoft puts that there for convenience to take you straight to the purchase page so you don't have to leave your game. Microsoft does that on the good faith that the developer is telling you what you're purchasing before you go to purchase it, which Bungie is not doing. And that's the problem. People who are like, my purchase doesn't make a difference. Yeah, it's people like that think it wouldn't exist in the first place. Yeah, it's intentionally manipulative. I don't want to call the people that do it stupid, because this is an easy mistake to make by design, forcing you to charge more money. And since there's no refunds, which is another whole legal issue I don't even want to get into about being able to just sell things and say that you can't refund them to just trick people and then not give them their money back. So you can trick people into actually buying things twice doing it this way, because if you didn't buy the digital deluxe edition and then you're buying something thinking you have access to it, and then you find out you only have access to part of it because another part of it that's inside of it is locked behind a key that you then have to go buy the key for, that, yeah, I can scummy as all fucking hell, Bungie. Like, even Activision doesn't go that fucking far, and we're not even halfway through this video yet.
To siphon more money while deceiving the community into thinking it was less.
Yeah, it's deception. And they started charging for events. I heard about this, but I didn't actually look into it.
All right,
so I want to hear this part.
Tame up until now. That's all going to change.
Pretty tame up until now.
Seasonal events and event cards. Event cards are the singular worst paid item ever added to Destiny. Last year, Bungie had the idea to add event cards to Destiny. These are filled with event challenges that grant you materials, event cosmetics, weapons, etc. This card was introduced as Bungie's solution to simplify in-game events, making it easier for players to reference what they needed to do to earn more rewards.
Not a bad idea so far.
Their solution? Plaster a giant pay to unlock button on the front of the event card to earn more rewards. You heard me right? You have to...
So event cards sounded like a good idea in concept. Like that's what I've heard about, is it's basically just like an event tracker. Because events were kind of confusing in Destiny. You join the event and you basically just collect whatever the event item was and you keep cashing it in, and you had no way of knowing if you had gathered all the event items because you didn't know what the drops were. The only things you could track were what were available from the event vendor, and the event vendor doesn't sell all of the event items. It doesn't tell you where all of the event locations are. It doesn't tell you what all the event content was. Like, you were just basically left to explore and figure it out. Event cards were supposed to be the solution to that, where it basically tracks your progress through the event, kind of like Fortnite does with an event with its events tab, and then it tells you, what you need to do to unlock different things, or like Call of Duty does with its events tab, where it tells you, outlines what the event is and what you have to do to unlock the stuff in the event. The difference between them and Bungie is that that's all fucking free. Events are just a way to bring players back into the game, to get them to log back in, to bring back old players, to keep people playing, because you need your online-only game to be populated with people, and events keep that population up. The people kind of drop off after a while. You launch an event, boop, they come back, and then they drop off, boop, they come back. It's the roller coaster Steam graph that shows the player numbers. That's how you keep it high. But Destiny puts that card in there to track your progress, and then charges you to unlock the card that tracks your progress so you can actually get the rewards on the event. So events are paid now. Sounds like a battle pass within a battle pass. Like an event battle pass on top of the seasonal battle pass you already bought. Like little mini battle passes.
Pay 1,000 silver, $10.
$10.
For the privilege of completing challenges so you can earn these extra rewards. It's essentially a mini battle pass.
Yep, that's
it's
what
already inside of a seasonal battle pass model. If you don't complete the challenges, you don't get any rewards.
Yeah, quad dipping now.
Players often
Glad you're keeping count.
That it only gives you 4 cosmetics. All the others on the card are free. This
it doesn't tell you that either. Okay.
Positioned strategically where all players interact with event challenges, because if you don't buy it immediately, Bungie wants you to stare at it for 3 weeks while you finish all your other challenges, slowly seducing you to part with $10 for a couple extra cosmetics. But Cross, it's only cosmetics. What's the big deal? That is the big deal. Events in Destiny 2 are only about cosmetics, and over 90% of the cosmetics you have to pay for. Surprise! Just like dungeons, seasonal events are not included in your.
That's why I hate that it's just cosmetic argument. There's a right way.
Because they are rehashed every year, and they revolve around.
Yeah, and they're the same every year.
Every new armor set, $10. New emotes, $10. Ghost shells, ghost projections, finishers, the list goes on. Money, money, money. It's so bad that Festival of the Lost has eternally been dubbed Festival of the Costs. Why would I want to participate in events where I get one gun and have nothing else meaningful to work towards? Normally, I have zero problem with
cosmetics. When cosmetics are the content,
just the extra cherry on top. I already pay for my content, and if I want to spend a little more, that's my choice.
Money, money, money.
The problem with events is the cosmetics are the content.
It's
all over the marketing. It's in the silver shop.
Yeah, when cosmetics are the content, then saying it's just cosmetic is not an argument anymore.
Came second to the cosmetics. Yes, it is possible for cosmetic microtransactions to ruin video games. Just look at Halo Infinite. Part of the
There you go. That's the argument I have with people screaming, it's just cosmetics. When the cosmetics take precedent over the actual in-game content, they are ruining the in-game content. He said it. And he's 100% right. Cosmetics should be the cherry on top. The content should come first, and the cosmetics are the thing you sprinkle on top to get people to pay while they're enjoying that content. The content keeps them playing. The cosmetics keep them spending. That's the one hand shaking the other here on how that should fucking work. When your entire game is based around the cosmetics, when you're making the content around the cosmetics, and the cosmetics then become the content, Halo, Destiny, then it's just cosmetic. That's not an argument anymore. It's just cosmetics should just be relabeled to it's just the content. So it's not free anymore. No one wants to fucking grind forever on a battle pass, a fake battle pass inside your battle pass, where it's got 20 levels and only 4 things in there are actual non-cosmetic content. So then you're grinding that entire season feeling like you're getting nothing if you don't pay. So it's just cosmetic means nothing because it's just a waste of your time then. That's not how that should work. Cosmetics can ruin games if monetized improperly. Halo Infinite could fix its cosmetics by just making new armor. They need to completely redo the method of unlocking stuff and how they approach their content is the point that I believe he's about to make here. Because that's... your content is your cosmetics. For something like Halo, for a free-to-play shooter where you're trying to keep things fair and you don't want pay to win, then the only thing you can charge for is cosmetics. So... let's see what he says about Halo Infinite.
The reason why it was received so poorly, beside the lack of co-op and mediocre campaign, was because all avenues of customization were locked behind paywalls. This was always one of Halo's greatest strengths. The Master Chief Collection on Steam still has free live service seasonal content. You purchase the game once, get to play some of the best games ever made by Bungie and 343, and visual progression is alive and well, unhindered by microtransaction hell. Best $40 I've ever spent. Even less when it goes on sale. Events have become just another way, though, to squeeze more money and double dip into the player base in preparation for the next season, and it just keeps getting worse. Is Bungie in the moral wrong for promoting more cosmetics during an event? No. Do I have the right to call events?
The Gundam crossover was pretty good, though.
Mid as hell because there is little to no
cool,
loot
but
tied
too
to
expensive.
that you can actually earn. Yes, we do have that right.
Better Call Saul.
Events are quote-unquote free to all players. There is zero monetary incentive for Bungie to spend time on anything more than creating the most attractive Destiny shopping mall for 3 weeks. I would love for Bungie to prove me wrong on this one because I like the idea of events. They're supposed to be fun, but there's nothing fun to do during those 3 weeks unless you like spending more money. The way you fix events in Destiny is by investing in the player experience. Supremacing during Guardian games is a great first step, but that existed as a base game mode in Destiny 1. So we really can't give brownie points here for something Bungie gave back to us from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
By players who don't want to spend money.
Oh, did they bring back
play or rewards for their time?
They bring back
revisit this topic.
Finally bring back fucking racing? Something other than shooting? Yeah, and they're just bringing back stuff from Destiny 1 and claiming it's new content.
Do I have anything against paid cosmetics existing in Destiny? No. However, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the cost for everything in Eververse store is insane. $15 per armor set. Exotic emotes can get as high as $12 each. Exotic ornaments, $6 each. And this all adds up very quickly, especially if you want to get one thing per character. The most recent price hike we've seen has been the collaboration armor sets. These started with the Epic Games collab during Season the Plunder and have stayed consistent with every collab since. Assassin's Creed, PlayStation, all of these armor sets cost 2,000 silver each. That's $20 for one set of armor. All of Destiny 1's DLCs included.
Yeah, it went higher after PlayStation bought them.
Just a few weeks ago. There's no universe where you can convince me that 3 armor sets cost $60 total, one for each class, by the way, and somehow that is worth the same price as a AAA game. Now, will people buy them? Obviously, yes. Will Bungie make lots of money? Yeah. Are we getting ripped off? You damn right. This isn't just Bungie doing this stuff. This is basically industry standard.
Yeah, every game does this now.
Beyond expensive.
They're all like $20.
So spend it how you deem fit. But I figure while we're on the subject, I should make you doubly aware that everything in Eververse is very expensive and, dare I say, dramatically overpriced.
Okay, so he's right. That's like industry standard price. Like that's why when done poorly, people don't like it. When done well, they're willing to pay that price. And that's the difference. This is why you can throw $20 skins into Fortnite and no one cries foul. But when you throw $20 skins into Overwatch 2, there's 1,000 videos on it on YouTube. What's the difference? They're both the same fucking price, right? The difference is the content that Fortnite provides on top of that you get for free while you're, you know, using that $20 purchase on cosmetics versus the amount of content you got in Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 did not deliver on its promised content. So you already had a sour player base that were like, what the fuck? You went free to play and you're giving us less and charging more. You know, you promised all of this stuff that you didn't deliver. And then had the gall to charge $20 for a cosmetic now on top of it. Whereas Fortnite gives you an insane amount of content for free and then charges you $20, which makes paying for that $20 feel justified. It's all balancing. You can have $20 cosmetics in your game. I'm not against pricey cosmetics if they're done right. And too many games go, well, Fortnite charges 20, so we can too. And they just do bare minimum effort and charge industry maximum prices, which makes it feel like a ripoff. I don't know if the devs don't understand how that market works or why Fortnite gets a pass for its $20. Because Fortnite's not getting a pass, Fortnite's providing value. Like, you're getting what you pay for out of it. And you're getting way more. You're getting enough enjoyment for free that the $20 feels justified. In fact, you almost feel like you're ripping the developer off because of the amount of enjoyment you're getting for free. You feel like you owe them money for the amount of fucking enjoyment you're getting out of it. If you're not providing that level of enjoyment, you can't charge those level of prices. And too many games do that. Overwatch 2 did not provide that PvE experience it promised. It did not provide a stellar, like, even the regular game modes were weaker once they switched over to Destiny 2 than they were in Destiny 1. So the player experience went down, but the prices went up. And that leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Like that, no one likes that. So I don't know if they don't understand that or if they're just doing it because they know they can, if it's done intentionally. So that's a different conversation to be had. But yeah, he just kind of outlined the problem. And people ignore it because some players are stupid enough to go, well, that's a Fortnite charge. Yeah, like they'll bring up that to defend it. When I bring it up to compare it to industry standards, I'm not defending it. I'm going, why are you guys surprised? Like, why are you mad? Like, are you shocked? Like, that was my reaction to Overwatch 2's, you know, outrage when it first launched and people saw that they were $20 cosmetics. When they removed the loot boxes and put $20 cosmetics in, everybody got mad. And I was like, are you fucking shocked, really? Because $20 is what Fortnite charges, what Call of Duty charges. You know, that's what these, you know, Valorant's way more expensive than that. Like, Valorant's upwards of 100. I mean, like, you can't be surprised when they just did what everyone else was doing. They did it poorly in comparison. They didn't do it as well, but they saw what everyone else was doing, and monkey see, monkey do. They did it too. They didn't do it as well, and they got backlash for it, thank God. But yeah, like, you shouldn't be surprised it happened, is all I was saying. But we'll continue on. Manipulation! As if we already hadn't seen enough of that in the video already.
Bungie is constantly devising methods to make you spend more money in-game, whether you're a hardcore player or even free-to-play. The constant scheming never ends. In addition to everything we've previously mentioned, this season, Bungie added an Eververse recommended tab to the store, so you can find offers made just for you more easily. Earlier this year, Bungie added the ability to purchase weapon ornaments on actual weapons in-game. Now, I will admit, this is convenient.
Like Call of Duty does, that's where it should be.
Flashy exotic would look like.
Yeah. That should have already been there.
But this is also an obvious way to reduce the distance between the player and the purchase button.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Armor ornaments with shaders before you buy them. You have to purchase the armor.
Well, that's a problem.
You can see if that matches your look. If any of you remember,
that's a problem.
Used to cost 40 bright dust from Eververse. And if you're unfamiliar with bright dust, it's an in-game
that's the free way to get shaders. It used to cost 40.
Specific items in the Eververse store. It's designed to keep players engaged with the store, even if they haven't spent any money. In the hopes
I got a lot lot of
spend money
shaders for
in the
free,
future.
especially since
Anyway,
shaders are one-time
Bungie
use. You're
raised
always
the
buying
price
them.
of shaders from 40 to 300 bright dust, solely because they wanted to. Just another sink for bright
So that
dust.
increases
You
your
have
grind
free money
by at
longer
least
than most
5
anything else you can
times
buy,
if
and
you're a
they've
free
also
player.
started locking shaders behind paid bundles too. And
Oh,
normal
and they've
shaders
locked some
will
up.
be
Okay.
frequently available for bright dust at the beginning of each season. Guys, it has been barely 3 weeks since the Season of the Deep launch at the time of this video, and no new shaders have been sold. Now, if you like ghost projections, don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I am of the opinion that these cosmetics solely exist to inflate the bright Ingram loophole. You could
Yep.
also make the argument that this
They're
is
to
why
make you waste
Bungie
your
makes
bright
so
dust.
many cosmetics to begin with. Every new season,
They're
there
like the
are at
fluff in a
least
loot box.
9 new ships, sparrows, and ghosts. These are all sold in the Everest store each season, but a majority of players will never see or want them. I wish I could tell you how many emotes and ghost projections exist in the game as of this moment, but Bungie does not put these items in player collections. Maybe someone with access to the API might know, but your average player has no clue. Inflating the bright Ingram loot pool means every time you level up enough to earn a bright Ingram, you have to turn it in at the Everest store and you get nothing of value. Further encouraging players to
Their loot
spend
boxes are
to
shit.
acquire coveted cosmetics. Now, if you're a new life player, when you visit Shawhan to pick up your first quests and bounties, you are greeted with an exotic in his inventory. Except you can't collect this exotic. It's a short quest that you can only pick up after buying the most recent expansion. This year, it's Arbalest and requires you to buy Linefall. Last year, it was Sweet Business and required you to buy the Witch Queen. No idea if Bungie removes these weapons from the loot pool for new lights or just pretends like they are part of the new expansion content, even though both of these weapons clearly belong in free-to-play given their age. Either way, shame on you, Bungie.
Not even
only
new.
Is this baiting players who haven't even played the game yet to spend money on an expansion, but you're doing it with
On stuff that
content
used to
has no
drop for
business
free,
being
'cause they're
tied to
old
these new
guns.
expansions.
They're not even new guns. Oh, here we go. They finally did pay to win. I was out before they went
I
that
told
far.
you Destiny has now approached pay to win. Now, some of you may say that will never happen. Others of you may say it happened a long time ago. However, this season, definitively without a shadow of a doubt, has now pushed Destiny 2 into pay to win territory. Let me explain. In the past, we've brought up issues like character boosting. Essentially, you can pay $20 to skip the Destiny campaign and start unlocking your subclass and getting a head start on other content. I would make the argument that this is pay to win. In
Yeah,
fact, we
it's
have made
paying
that
to get
argument in the
instant
past. And at the time,
max
it was a
level.
pretty controversial subject. Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access.
I mean, you're calling it skip the campaign, but it's not what you're doing because they already removed the campaign from the fucking game. You're paying to reach maximum level as a free-to-play player. Like, you're paying to skip the 60 level, 70 level, whatever it is now, to skip that grind to max level so you can just start collecting gear and do all of the content. Is it pay to win? Yeah, kind of. Paying to skip the grind is pay to win. When the grind is the content, and you're paying to just instantly become as powerful as someone who grinded that content, then you're paying to win. You're paying to get at their level without doing the things they did. The grind is the content. That's what this game is. It's a grindy looter shooter. The grind is the content. And if you're paying to skip all that grind and get instantly to the end game, then it's pay to win. Now, lots of other games have a skip option, but it's when you start charging for it that it becomes pay to win. Like, you can do that with your second character in Diablo 4, for instance. After you've beaten the campaign once, and every additional character you make, you can skip the campaign. The difference is, skipping the campaign, there's several differences here. Skipping the campaign in Diablo 4 doesn't increase your player level. You still have to grind out the levels. So already, you're not skipping player levels. You're not instantly becoming more powerful by skipping the campaign. Secondly, you don't have to pay to do it. So, not a problem. There's no pay option to become more powerful in Diablo 4. There's no pay option to become more powerful in, in Fortnite, for instance. Like, there's no pay option to make yourself more powerful. This is paying money to instantly get levels on your character. How the fuck is that not pay to win? Like, I don't understand how anyone would defend that as not being pay to win. You can call it skipping the campaign if you want, but you're doing more than skipping the campaign. In Diablo 4, you skip the campaign. That's literally all you're doing. You're getting straight to the in-game grind loop without having to play through the campaign missions to unlock, you know, areas of the map. That's all you're doing. You're not getting any player levels. You're not getting any more powerful by doing it. In some ways, it makes the game harder because you now have access to harder areas with a weaker character. To whereas, you know, playing through the campaign would steer you through the game in a progressional state so that you're never accessing an area that you're not ready for. Yeah, like offering a prologue skip, like in Borderlands 3. It doesn't level your character up to the level you would have been at the end of the prologue. It just skips that part of the game so you don't have to go through it if you don't want to. You're now weaker for skipping it, not stronger. But I digress.
Lightfall Deluxe Edition early, you unlocked Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released. People.
So buying, okay, so that's another thing that they did. That's a bad part. Well, I was more talking about Diablo 4. Like skipping that stuff doesn't make you more powerful. Yeah, like some games do, but as long as you're not paying for it, it's not pay to win. But that's another thing they do is if you don't pre-order the expansion, you don't get access to all of the content in the expansion for X amount of time. They lock expansion content for players who bought the expansion at launch as a punishment for not pre-ordering the expansion. So if you didn't pre-order it, you don't even get all of the content you paid for when you paid for it. Look, here, we'll back it up. We'll back it up. Listen to that.
Have made that argument in the past, and at the time, it was a pretty controversial subject. Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access. If you bought the Lightfall Deluxe Edition early, you unlocked Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released.
So I've made this argument before, and I'm making it again now. There's no such thing as early access to something when you pre-order. That is a fucking fallacy. That is a fucking trick. You aren't getting access to it early. Everyone who didn't pre-order is being punished and getting it late. You're thinking of it backwards. You're not getting it early. Standard purchasers are being punished and getting it late. It's a way to force you to buy content before you can see a review for the content. And that applies to not just like stuff like this. That applies to video games themselves. You know, games that offer pre-order bonuses and then or lock stuff behind the pre-order and then don't make that available to people who didn't pre-order until months later. You're punishing them for not pre-ordering. They want you to pre-order so that they have your money before you have the product. So that you can't, you know, so that you can't see the quality of the thing you've paid for before you paid for it. You can't see a review. You can't see all that stuff. And in some countries, it means you can't get a refund, which is another reason that they do that. Because some countries have refund policies for digital goods. America's not one of them, but some policies, some countries have consumer protection rights that give you the right to refund any digital product if you didn't get what you paid for within a certain amount of time, 2 weeks or whatever it is. If you pre-order it and you're not able to access that content for 2 weeks, that period expires before the content even comes out, and it makes it much harder to get that refund. I'm sure you still can, depending on the country. Some countries probably not. You know, I know Australia is one of them that has a Consumer Rights Act. You know, Aussie's told me about that, how they can get refunds on things that even say no refunds. And I believe that pre-ordering, the reason games push those pre-orders so hard is because it's a way to get around that. There's zero reason. I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There is zero reason to ever pre-order a digital good. There is zero logical reason to ever do this. There is zero chance of a digital good selling out. They can make and distribute infinite copies of it. There's no distribution cost for a download. There's no way you're not going to get the game if you don't pre-order it unless they restrict it. Unless they take it away from you. It's not like they physically produced a good and they only had so many copies and then you had to wait for stores to restock. There is no stock to refill on a digital marketplace. There's zero reason to ever pre-order a digital product. Now, if you pre-order I pre-ordered the collector's edition of Street Fighter 6. That was a physical good. Came with physical things. And there was a limited amount of it. that makes sense. Digital goods never make sense. You should never, ever, 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 fucking ever be pre-ordering digital goods. It is false scarcity. It's not real. And punishing you for doing it should be all the more reason why you don't do it. Why you don't support that practice so that they stop doing that practice. All right, I'm off my rant on that now. But yes, I am very anti-pre-order.
People who bought the base version of Lightfall had to wait until Season the Deep to use this exotic, which is
they had to
over
wait
half a year.
They had to wait 6 months to get all the content they paid for.
Good in PvP. We called it pay to win. More people agreed, but yet again controversial. The problem is many people are reluctant to call Destiny a pay to win game. This hesitancy stems from one question: what is considered winning in Destiny? If you don't know what winning even means, then can you even win in Destiny? Let's try and break it down. What if we class
I love that argument.
Destiny as achieving certain in-game goals, going flawless.
Yeah, there are some people who believe you can't have pay to win in a PvE game because you're not winning against other players.
Complete them with great loot. Actually, I believe we just found our answer. Winning in Destiny 2 means getting great loot.
Thank you. That's how you win in a single-player game. In a PvE game.
Everything else away. At its core, people play Destiny so they can earn loot and
yeah,
use
that's why you play. If the reason you're playing is something you can purchase to get, it's pay to win.
Earning more great loot in the process. Owning better loot objectively gives you an advantage over other players in game. Need I mention the Immortal and Trials of Osiris or Gallon at multiple points in Destiny Sandbox? That's why it's called a looter shooter. Loot isn't everything Destiny has to offer, but it affects every aspect of the gameplay experience. With that in mind, we can now assign a definition of pay to win in Destiny 2. Destiny 2.
So I would more try to make a global pay to win. Maybe I'll update the Wikipedia page, but I would more try to attribute a global pay to win definition that applies to all games. My definition would be, if the reason you're playing the game, the content you're playing, the reason you're playing that content, the goal you're trying to achieve can be purchased, it is pay to win. Doesn't matter what the game is. If the goal of the game is to collect loot and you can buy loot, it is pay to win. You are paying to instantly get the reason you're playing, to instantly get that reward. It is pay to win. If the goal is to beat a boss and when you die, you can pay to resurrect infinitely or get God mode or whatever, okay, pay to win. If it, whatever. However they sell it, the end result would always be the same. You're playing the game for this reason. This is the draw of the game. And if you can pay to get that without having to play the game, it is pay to win. Regardless of whether it's PvP or PvE or single player.
2 is pay to win, when an unfair advantage in obtaining great loot is only accessible to players who spend more money than what is essential to play Destiny 2. If you have a better definition, I would love to read your suggestions in the comments below. But as of this moment, I believe this statement encapsulates pay to win in the context of Destiny 2 or any looter shooter quite well. All right, Cross, we get it. What's your point? Over the years, Bungie has been inching closer and closer to this pay to win line. And as of Season 21, Season the Deep, they finally crossed it. Bungie opened the floodgates and are...
Yeah, so that he just brought up like another point that people attribute their own definition for what pay to win is based on the most extreme. It's an argument I've had with Ozzy over Warframe. Warframe does have pay to win elements. I'm sorry if you're a Warframe fan and you think it doesn't. It fucking does. It has pay to win. There's different levels of pay to win, but that definition I just gave earlier applies to Warframe. You can pay to instantly get a Warframe that other people would have to grind for. You can pay to get an unfair advantage in the game over players who didn't do it. You can pay to skip, that grind to instantly get the reward. Anything you can purchase that would make you more powerful than a player who didn't purchase it, no matter how small, is pay to win to some degree in a PvP or a multiplayer game. if they're not on an equal footing, regardless of the amount of money they put in, if there is any advantage giving to a player who has a deeper wallet, it is pay to win. And it is, the definition for me is that fucking simple. There's different levels. Some are more egregious than others. But if it exists at all, if I can pay to instantly max level a gun, if I can pay to instantly access a piece of gear that you would have to grind for, if I could pay to instantly get something that makes me stronger or gives me a different play experience than you in a multiplayer game, I am now more powerful than you and I have played less time. How is that not pay to win? Even if I'm only slightly more powerful, the definition still applies. That's how I view pay to win. That's how the world should view pay to win, because that's what it fucking is. So this, constantly moving the goalpost and making excuses are how they keep inching closer and closer to that line. The more you move the goalpost and the more leniency you give them, the more they're going to take from your fucking wallet. And Destiny has proved that.
Are now allowing people to buy max rank for the entire season.
Yep,
pass
you can buy
on
max
day
rank for
one
season
of
pass.
the new season. And you may be thinking, really, Cross? The season pass is not.
Yes, so that's why you can't have progression things tied to the season pass, even on the free tier. Even on the free tier. Because he's explaining right now how that becomes pay to win. If your free tier of your battle pass, that is a manipulation. It's a mind fuck. It's an illusion that it's not pay to win by putting it on the free tier. If you put stuff on the free tier that's tied to progression and you go, oh, see, it's not pay to win, you can get that for free as part of the battle pass. Everybody gets that. The only thing you have to pay for on the battle pass is cosmetics. Well, that's only true if you can't purchase tiers of the battle pass. So if I can buy the battle pass and then give the company $60 extra or $100 extra or whatever it is to instantly max level the battle pass, well, now I've got all those progression items on the free tier instantly for money. I have paid to skip the entire battle pass and all the progression that lies within for money. You successfully turned your free battle pass to a pay to win item doing that. And you are crazier than a fish with titties if you think that people aren't going to do that. That's why it exists. There's a difference between having only cosmetic items on your battle pass like Fortnite and then allowing people to buy the whole battle pass instantly and skip all the tiers simply because they're impatient and they want the cosmetics now. But that's fine. Okay, if they want to pay for their impatience, if they got that kind of money to burn, let them. It's not giving them any kind of advantage. If I can instantly give you money to max level the battle pass and now I have an advantage over people who didn't, okay, pay to win. Fucking pay to win.
Not even pay to win. Is that right? Let's take a look, shall we? What does the Destiny Season Pass actually contain? Emotes? Shaders? Ornaments? What about XP bonuses? In-game materials? More weapon drops? Yeah, you can get those. Progression boosts? Season Passes got them, fellas. Exotics? God roll legendary weapons? Every single one
weapons,
of
straight up
those
weapons
is
in it.
available from the Season Pass, and every single one of these you can buy immediately for $100 at the beginning of a season. It didn't always used to be this way. Years ago, you couldn't even buy levels in the Season Pass. But then in Season Undying, Bungie had a change of heart. You can now buy them, but it has to be at the end of the season. Bungie called it a catch-up mechanic, so no one would miss out if life got in the way. And it was from that moment the downward spiral began. Soon it was available to be purchased halfway through the season, then 3 weeks into the season. Now years later, it's available day one of a new season. Quite the catch-up mechanic.
Yep. So that's how they creeped it in there. See? That's how they creeped it in there. You gave them an inch, and they kept taking more. So when Seasons first came out in Destiny that contained guns on its free tier, that contained actual power on its free tier, you couldn't buy levels of the Battle Pass. The only way to get that content was to play the game, to grind out that Battle Pass. Fair enough, not pay to win. Then they introduced the ability to buy tiers on the Battle Pass, which meant you could buy access to those weapons at the end of the Battle Pass instantly. But you could only do it during the last 2 weeks of a season. So if you had a real life and you didn't have time to grind it out, you could do it. Okay, fair enough. It's still pay to win, but you've locked it behind only the last 2 weeks, so 90% of your season's not pay to win. There's an argument for it there, fine. Then they did it 3 weeks into the season. And now you can do it day one. So they kept pushing that goalpost back until finally, day one, you can purchase the entire Battle Pass for $100 on top of the $10 you already spent to unlock it, to unlock access to it. So $110 will get you the entire Battle Pass max leveled on day one and all of the God-rolled, God-tier gear it contains. How is that not pay to win? Man has a point, and this is a fucking documented prime example of why you can't make excuses for them and why you can't give them an inch, because they will take all of your money. You gave them an inch, they took your wallet.
You only have 3 months to complete the season pass. Better buy the ranks now before they're gone. Good news, the bundle Bungie sells for the first season pass plus first 10 ranks also went up in price. And even better news, they'll be evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in
new
the
ways
Year
to
of
charge you
Fire
money.
Shape, which is corporate code for another price increase to $15 next year. It all makes sense now. Why do you think Bungie added that $100 silver purchase option in Steam while simultaneously offering a new fully ranked season pass for $100? Seems awfully convenient that both these new features shipped at the same time. You know what else is strangely convenient? Deep sight activation. For those of you who are unaware, deep sight is used to grant patterns for crafted weapons.
Yeah, this is new to me.
Once you've earned
this wasn't
5
in the
deep
game
sights for a specific weapon, you can craft the perfect roll of said weapon.
So you can craft a perfect god roll
of Destiny 2.
You can craft your perfect roll.
Rolls that takes lots of time to get. Deep sight activation is the ability to apply deep sight to a
not
weapon
a bad mechanic.
That didn't drop with the weapon initially. This new quality of life feature was teased earlier this year and was beyond
not a bad feature as long as you don't charge for it.
A very useful avenue for new or returning players to earn old craftable weapons that no longer drop in the roll loot pool. Imagine our dismay when Bungie
craft stuff that doesn't drop.
New deep sight harmonizer material that is used to apply deep sight is only available on the season pass. 3 from the free track and 3 from the pay track. 6 total per season.
But you can just buy craftable weapons.
If you're new to the game, earning every weapon that no longer drops with deep sight,
and that's the only way to get them because they don't drop.
To get them all. We haven't even had 24 seasons in Destiny's lifespan. Now there is no method to earn these materials in game. All you can do is wait for Bungie to drip feed you with XP. Unless you don't have to wait. Let's say you want that god roll targeted redaction or that crafted apex predator right now. All you need to do is spend some silver. And just like that, you have enough deep sight to instantly craft any weapon you like. Sure, you have to get it to actually drop, but that's not a problem. You can focus all the seasonal weapons at the helm and farm last switch weapons for a few hours. Purchasing deep sight application allows you to completely bypass the craftable weapon loot grind for any crafted weapon you want. And you know what's crazy? Bungie pulled this exact same stunt with armor transmog. If you want to customize your armor, it was going to be limited and extremely complicated to earn. Oh, but
yeah, I remember that.
You could just buy it from the Eververse store. Of course, people were angry,
and people were angry then.
Safe because at the end of the day,
it was just cosmetic. Yep, that was the argument then.
Deep sight application is anything,
and that was the precursor to this. That's why you can't excuse it.
Weaponized by Bungie to implement pay-to-win mechanics into the season pass. Some of you may be thinking I'm overreacting. Let's listen to that data video.
You're 100% accurate.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument.
Slippery slope, which he warned you about 7 years ago. This is where that slope ends, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it ends. This is where it goes. And now you see all those things for sale. They're not directly for sale, which is going to be some people's excuse for it. But when you hide it inside things, if people notice a way to buy it, they're going to take it. They do it to try to trick the people who won't buy it into so that they don't see it. It's not in your face, but it's there.
It doesn't matter if deep sight harmonizers aren't directly purchasable from the Eververse store.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Materials, XP bonuses, exotic ciphers, or progression boosts are contained within the vehicle we call the Season Pass. You can still purchase them. The lie Bungie tries to tell us is that these rewards are available to everyone. Therefore, purchasing it early is of no consequence. All of the deep sight harmonizers are beyond.
Paying to win is getting things early. That's the point.
9% of the player base
no consequence.
will not reach those ranks for weeks, if not
Yeah,
months.
exactly.
But if you
That's
have
the
money,
point.
You could just
Most
access
people
more
won't
loots, more
grind that
rewards,
long.
More craftable godable weapons for little to no work. What if the immortal
Especially if
hadn't
everyone's
crafted the
using
season?
those things on
Everyone
day
would have
one,
lost their minds. Just
and
imagine
you got that
this thing
fear
could
of
buy
missing
a
out.
perfect
Yeah,
PvP
it's
weapon
manipulative
and
as all
turn around
hell.
and crucible with it for weeks or months with little to no competition. All hell would have broken
Yep,
loose. This
you'd have all of that,
scenario is
no
not
competition.
only possible, but now it is incredibly likely. If this isn't pay to win, fellas, I don't know what is.
Amen, brother. Fucking shit, I've been screaming into a fucking void
An argument
forever.
about killing the egg before it gains any traction is that Bungie is charging more money because they are making better content / another game. Don't kid yourself, guys. We know that Bungie's team for Destiny has not dramatically increased in size since the Taken King. We also know that Bungie is making a boatload of more money than they did back in Destiny 1 because more players and microtransactions exist. Yes, I think the seasonal model is better for Destiny as a live service game. Yes, I believe that microtransactions have their place in Destiny. I'm not even paying extra for seasons. I buy the deluxe edition of the game every year that has zero effect on me. But I am sick and tired of the player base getting nickeled and dimed at every turn. The constant,
Even though it doesn't affect him, he still cares about the other people. That's me, brother.
New players.
I'm with you, man.
Why we're surprised. Bungie in their GDC
And you shouldn't be.
2022 panel
Shouldn't be surprised.
celebrated
Writing's on the
their three-step
fucking
plan
wall.
for Destiny. After winning back player trust and keeping player retention high, their main focus was once again revenue.
Revenue.
Bungie's side then when this controversy was blowing up. Because believe it or not, we like it when Bungie's profitable. That's not a bad thing. But the pursuit of more profits came with the promise that it would be built off that foundation of player trust. Newsflash, adding
It wasn't.
mechanics and lying to the community destroys player trust. I am not going to
No
support a
shit.
business model that employs these types of marketing strategies. I'm not going to pretend like this is
This is why I don't
some
support the
point for
game
Destiny,
anymore.
a point of no return.
That's why I
This is
stopped
not
playing.
a crossroad. It's just another step along a very long road that's marching us closer and closer to microtransaction hell. As for Bungie's new game Marathon, why should I give a damn about Marathon? I'm not paying to play Marathon. I'm paying to play Destiny 2. And as a diverse player who plays PvP and PvE, I thought overall things were decent. But then I listened to a clip from Grenader Jake, who lives and breathes PvP, especially Trials.
I think what Bungie touches usually turns to gold. Halo, Destiny, I bet you Marathon's gonna kill it. But do you want some real, honest feedback from me too? I think it's absolutely up that Bungie would abandon this game's PvP essentially, which is what they've done. They've made us basically no new maps in like
He's from a
4 years.
PvP only player.
To make us pay hundreds of dollars a year so they can go work on their next baby. It feels like complete bullshit, dude. I feel like Destiny players have the right, especially Destiny PvP players,
Yeah.
to be pissed. We're still spending over
Legitimately.
$100 every year to play this game. They literally abandoned us. And I feel like that's really frustrating.
And this
Yeah, if
really
you're paying
puts
$100 a
things
year
into
to be abandoned.
perspective. Bungie abandoned Destiny 2 PvP for their new PvP game. Not only that, but Marathon is also getting all the bells and whistles Destiny players have been asking for a very long time. Dedicated servers, leaderboards, new maps. Only after complaining year after year, buying new expansions and seasons year after year,
And getting
are
no new PvP
players
content.
finally getting some attention. More than anything else, it's just sad that this much money has been spent by this many people, and what content do they have to show for it? Almost nothing.
No,
Bungie
almost
made a
nothing.
promise to make the game better for all players, not just PvE players, all players. Sadly, this isn't the first time Destiny players have been abandoned before. I know a lot of you have never played or don't care about Destiny 1 these days, but 7 years ago, before Silver even existed,
Before
the Taken King
microtransactions.
Collector's Edition was sold, and it included some custom emotes and class items. Back then, these
Yeah.
were some of the best looking armor pieces and emotes in the game.
I loved
Several
Destiny
of our
1.
editors were young teens at the time, and being Destiny fans, they bought the collector's edition. Revisiting those accounts years later, practicing for the Destiny 2 King's Fall raid race, gathering footage for videos and so on, they notice they can't equip their custom
What?
King items anymore. Items that they own, items
Took
that they
away stuff you paid for.
items that Bungie would happily charge them $20 to repurchase years later are sitting in their inventory.
You have
And
to
they can't
repurchase
use
them?
They aren't the only ones either. Forum posts dating several years back also complained about this exact issue. Bungie hasn't fixed it. Why would they? Repurchasing old content isn't new ground.
Because it's
for
not a
Bungie.
bug, it's a
Paying content
feature.
just for it to be unplayable years later isn't a novel concept for them. Bungie doesn't care about their old game. Bungie only cares about their new game, the one that will make them more money, the one that gets the $3.6 billion deals, the one they can use as a vehicle to be as profitable as possible, pay to win or otherwise. That's everything. That's all I got, guys. This isn't a Bungie strike. This isn't me disowning Destiny for the rest of my life. Frankly, that will accomplish nothing. As a wise man once said, every game boycott is 1 3-minute cinematic from being over. The final ship, Destiny's
boycotts accomplish nothing
on the horizon. Microtransactions will not kill Destiny. Destiny is not on the verge of collapse. It's in fact the opposite. Destiny is making more money than ever before. It has more players than ever before, and I love that. But the terrible truth is, this
it deserves to die, but it's not going to.
Credence to these business
not
practices.
Yet.
It affirms greedy behavior, and it gives Bungie a giant green light to invent new ways to take our money and devalue the player. I remember the days when you walked into a store and bought a game, and now more than ever, I find myself diving into a game and finding a store. A long time ago, when Bungie was beneath the corporate umbrella of Activision, we saw the senseless greed, the half-baked products, and we rejoiced when Bungie went solo.
We did.
We were going out of the frying pan and into the fire. Bungie in some ways is worse than Activision ever was. If you take anything from this video, I want you to think about everything we discussed, all the actions Bungie has taken objectively, and decide for yourself, where do I draw the line? How far is too far? And remember that, because looking back, we're already well and beyond what we would have tolerated 7 years ago. I imagine 7 years from now into the future, when we have Marathon, a mobile game, and who knows, maybe even Destiny 3, I'll ask you again, where did you draw the line? And I'm almost certain Bungie will have
drew mine a while back. And yeah, you're right. They would have stepped over it. So, I mean, I'll link the video in the description for anyone who wants to watch the full thing without my interruption. But this is all stuff I've said and warned about. And the reason I say that boycotts don't work is these practices are so manipulative, and these games are so... People are so time invested into these games that they're not going to quit. The majority of people aren't going to quit. So if you go to boycott something, you're going to get some support. And any boycott in any game, when any game does this. But truth is, you're not going to make enough of an impact to affect change just with a boycott. Unfortunately, that's not how these online systems work anymore. That's not how these online systems work anymore. Back in the days of retail stores not going to the store, boycotting Walmart, boycotting those things, that worked because those stores looked empty when other people came into them and they could see no one shopping there. Like that, you could stand out front with a picket sign and people had to walk past you to get in. Like, you went noticed then. Online, people don't notice you're not going to the store. People who don't go to, other players don't notice you're boycotting because they don't have to look at you when they go to the Microsoft store. They don't see it. It's not real to them. The proof of what does work now, the only power you really have in an online marketplace like this is your voice. I mean, if you want to boycott and not pay money, but you still want to enjoy the game, if it's a free-to-play game like Call of Duty or Overwatch or Fortnite, and you want to enjoy the game but not give them money, sure, by all means do that. Become part of that metric. But that's not enough anymore. That's not enough. Like, just boycotting is not going to be enough. The only thing you're robbing, the only person who's feeling that impact when you say, I'm not going to play the game at all anymore, well, that's a principled stance, but the only one who really suffers there is you, because now you can't enjoy the thing you like, and no one's going to notice. So the only way you get notice now is with your voice, to go on social media, to go on Reddit, to go everywhere you can, and voice your complaints as much as possible. Don't let people telling you you're just whining. Don't let people blah, blah, blah. Oh, why you been? They got to make money. Like people, fanboys will always give you shit for whining. Whining's the only thing you got. Whining, or legitimate complaints as I call them, is the only recourse you have that's going to get any real attention if you scream loud enough. And the proof of that came with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Just boycotting those loot boxes would not have worked. There are too many gambling addicted people in Wales who would outweigh you. What did work was creating the most downvoted Reddit post in fucking history. Was making your voice heard loud enough to make mainstream media. So loud they can't be ignored. Even though you're not really costing them any money, you are costing them PR. Now you're making a difference. And a lot of those people who screamed and complained only boycotted the loot boxes. They still played the game and actively enjoyed it. You want to make a stand against a company, you don't do it by not playing their game anymore. They don't care about your number. They don't care about your player count. Unless everyone's on board, which good luck making that happen. If the game's good and enjoyable, people are still going to play it regardless. The only time player numbers drop is when a game is bad. So if the monetization is the only thing that's bad, but the game is addictive enough, people are still going to play it. The only thing you're going to do is complain. Do everything you can to complain. I mean, I know it's a meme that change.org positions don't work, but their existence often gets referenced as just a bullet point for something else. So they make they're at least part of that voice. Make a petition, make a Reddit post, make a tweet, or if you're paying attention to your phone today, Facebook launched Threads, make a thread. Make their version of Twitter. Make an Instagram post, make a TikTok, make a YouTube short, make a everything. Scream it from the fucking mountaintops. And that's how you make a difference. Make your voice loud enough and get it echoed by enough people. That's the only real recourse you have. So, anyway, yeah, to quickly recap everything in that long-ass video of his, if you want to, you know, just get the bullet points for how bad Bungie's gotten. I think we got to quadruple dipping. And so, yeah, we got to quadruple dipping. You have to buy the expansion. You have to buy the season pass. You have to buy the mini season pass inside the season pass when an event comes. So there's triple dipping. And then you have to buy the keys to access the dungeons if you don't buy the most expensive version of the expansion when it launches. And I guess maybe... All right, there's quadruple dipping. What comes next? Fifth-fold dipping? I don't know what the acronym for what the phrase for 5 is, but I guess the fifth one, quintuple? Okay, yeah, quintuple. I guess the point is that the actual like fifth one here would be let's see. You got the battle pass. You got the mini battle pass. You got the yeah, you got Battle Pass, Mini Battle Pass, the expansion itself, and the keys to access the dungeons if you don't get... Oh, the pre-order stuff. That's the fifth way they double dip, is if you don't pre-order, you're punished for not pre-ordering by having to pay $20 extra to access that pre-order content or wait 6 months into the season, into the expansion's lifespan to access content that should have been included with the version you paid for. But because you didn't pre-order that version, you didn't get it. So that's another way. They punish you for not buying it early. So yeah, there's 5 ways they're dipping right there. And then on top of that, there's pay-to-win elements in the Battle Pass, which you can purchase tiers of the Battle Pass to get. So there's pay-to-win elements. The cost of stuff in the Eververse store for free-to-play players went up. So Bright Dust went up from 40 Bright Dust to 300. That's like a 300% increase in free-to-play prices, so that your grind is now 300% longer, forcing you to pay money to access any of that content and not grind it forever and not get any cosmetics. Like they're inching you closer and closer to spending as much money as possible. Like it's become worse than anything. You can scream about how greedy Activision is all you want. They were actually better under Activision. They are more egregious than anything Activision has in any of its games right now. Call of Duty never got that bad. Diablo's not that bad. Like the only one that comes, like they're on the level of Diablo Immortal, but they don't get the excuse of being a mobile game. Like even Activision had enough sense to only do that in a mobile game. So this should be the death of Destiny. Like, these players have to have a breaking point And I mean the vast majority of their players, but as he pointed out at the end of the video, their numbers are higher than ever. Their profits are higher than ever. It's clear that these fanboys have reached cult-like status where Bungie can just abuse the fuck out of them, and they're going to take it, and he hits me because he loves me. Like, they have Stockholm Syndrome at this point. So, it's sad. I checked out long before most of that shit. If this isn't enough to break you as a Destiny player and make you go spend your money anywhere else in gaming, there are far better experiences you can get with your money. You can spend $60 and get God of War, you can get a Final Fantasy, you can get a full fucking game, you can get Elden Ring and its vast amounts of content. Like, there's so many other games. Go play Diablo. It's fantastic. And it's a fraction of the price compared to Destiny. Like, there's so many better ways to spend your money and better experiences you can have than this game that's been half of the game being abandoned because PvP hasn't had updates in fucking forever. Like, there's better ways to spend your time and money, but you're so indoctrinated into the Destiny cult that they know how to make their money. They know that they're probably not going to make it off new players, which is why the new player experience is so fucking terrible. They know that all their money is going to come from existing players, and they're going to milk you guys to death because you have Stockholm Syndrome and you're in love with this abusive relationship you're in. It's sad. It's honestly heartbreaking to watch. But I only have so much sympathy for you if you're still playing Destiny at this point because you've done it to yourself. So that's my 2 cents on Destiny. That's my 2 cents on Destiny and microtransactions as a whole. If you want a great review of Destiny's content and how it's gone down in quality, just the content itself that doesn't address microtransactions at all, just goes into their lazy development, check out I Hate Everything's latest review of the latest Destiny. It's like an hour long, but he's a Destiny fan who's just had enough. And if watching his video doesn't make you feel the same way he feels at the end of it, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I guess you're just straight up in the Destiny cult at that point. But yeah, like and subscribe for more rants. I'm gonna do more of these reactions and rants, man, because I am passionate about gaming, and this stuff breaks my heart, and I'm tired of screaming into a void. So maybe I'll scream into YouTube, and you guys will actually like it. Thanks for watching, and you know, I do live stream every night, so come check me out. Later, guys. I'm going back to my game now.